So we could actually do it here because it's not been made yet. And then we just have to pay for the full amount of it. Because luckily for us, our land did untap beforehand. Hello, good game. Welcome back, everybody. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch and support the channel. Deposit those thumbs up down below if you don't mind. And today we'll be playing with Witherbloom, right? Not Witherbloom, Witherbloom. This is a free-to-play deck, 0 rares, 0 mythics, consisting of only uncommons and uncommons, also known as an artisan build, right? If you're doing any of those upcoming events, you can use this deck, and it performs really, really nicely. I'm having a lot of fun and a lot of luck within my matches utilizing it. It's got a lot of recursion, right? We're gaining life and we're bringing our creatures back from the grave turn after turn after turn, and that's just going to be more value than our opponents can contend with. Within the video, we'll break down the deck list, show you the strategies and synergies knit there within, also discussing our playlines and interactions while we watch our gameplay footage together. This is going to give you an idea whether or not the deck is right for your personal playstyle, and of course your wildcard collection, which shouldn't be much of a resistance barrier, seeing as it is a free-to-play deck. If you're looking for any information within today's video, you can find it in the description below within the Linktree link, or give it a Google. I'm sure it'll come up. With that all out of the way, thank you so much again for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. Support the channel if you can afford to do so. If not, get in on our contests and giveaways. Let's get into it. Alright, so Witherbloom is a 60 card best of 1, 2.3 average mana value deck with 20 non-creatures and 16 creatures. We have a smooth 24 land in deck, which should be, a decent amount with a 2.3 average mana value curve. However, we seem to be pulling a lot of lands today, and I don't know if that's just me or it's going around, but if you want a land, I can draw it for you. The deck revolves around replaying our creatures from the grave. We have things like Silversmote Ghoul for 3 mana, 3 power, 1 toughness, zombie vampire. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain more than 3 life this turn, return the ghoul from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. We can also pay 2 at instant speed to sacrifice it, allowing us to draw a card. So if it ever becomes the target of a spell or an ability that would deal with it, boom, we sacrifice it. Bonecrusher Giant is one of my favorites because then the giant goes directly to the grave. The same as Petty Theft from Brazen Borrower, right? We're killing it ourselves, getting the draw, and that's great, right? And we're going to bring it back from the grave later on through its ability, much like we will Deathless Knight, 4 mana, 4 power, 2 toughness with haste. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, return Deathless Knight from your graveyard to your hand. Not quite into the battlefield tapped, so you're still going to have to play it yourself with your mana next turn, but it's got haste, right? And that's really good. Moving on from that, there's a lot of life gain within the deck. 4 copies of Cram Session, sorcery speed for 2. You gain 4 life and learn. We have the sideboard here filled with lesson cards, Environmental Sciences, Necrotic Fumes, Containment Breach, Pest Summoning, and Expanded Anatomy. We also have life gain through the Mire Triton, Death Touch for 2 mana, 2 power, 1 toughness. When it enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards and gain 2 life. We can further on that life gain path with Serrated Scorpion, 1 mana, 1 power, 2 toughness. When Serrated Scorpion dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. And finally, we have 4 copies of the Jungle Hollow, a land, and when it enters play tapped, we're going to gain ourselves 1 life, right? So we will need to gain 3 life to bring the ghoul back, and we can bring the knight back with a single life gain. Comboing the Mire Triton with the Jungle Hollow will result in 3 life. The Cram Sessions is going to give you 4, which is more than enough. And we can also combo the Jungle Hollow with the Serrated Scorpion, or, even the Scorpion with the Mire Triton as well. We do have removal in the deck to make sure that our attack lanes are open. The first that we should speak of is Mortality Spear for 4 mana at instant speed. Destroy target non-land permanent. It will cost 2 less to cast if we've gained life this turn, and we just touched on all of the different ways that we can do that. We could self-trigger it with Village Rites as well, which is pretty cool. So whether we're killing the Scorpion or we're killing our pests, which when they die, they'll gain us life as well. We can trigger that ourselves with things like the Village Rites. For 1 mana at instant speed as an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. We talked about the removal just for a second within Mortality Spear, but we also have 4 copies of Eliminate at instant speed for 2, destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less, and 4 copies of Heartless Act also at instant speed for 2 mana, choose 1. destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from a target creature. That's the entire deck. We've got 15 swamps and 5 forests to fill it out. If you're unfamiliar with the sideboard, Environmental Sciences for 2 mana, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, gain 2 life. Necrotic Fumes, exile target creature or planeswalker, and you have to sacrifice a creature you control. Containment Breach, destroy artifact or enchantment if its mana value is 2 or less, create a pest. And Pest Summoning for 3 mana, create 2 pests. And Expanded Anatomy, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, it gains vigilance until the end of turn. Right, so just some good old fun times if we want. Your main objective is to get the Ghoul, get the Knight in rotation, even if it means milling them with the Triton and bringing them back with Cram Sessions or Serrated Scorpion, or Mire Triton itself and the Jungle Hollowed or Pest Summoning. There's plenty of ways that you can get around that life gain to be replaying these creatures from the grave over and over again. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. Enjoy today's gameplay footage. Make sure to get into our contests and giveaways. I just did a video where I announced I'll be buying someone's Dungeons and Dragons rare playset. So if you've not seen that, get in on that and share that to your friends, right? Really exciting stuff on the channel, and wouldn't be possible without all the support. The YouTube members, the Patreon members, the Twitch supporters, right? It's all thanks to you guys. So not only a massive thank you from myself, but everybody else in the community who's been getting into our contests and giveaways recently. Have yourselves a magical day, enjoy the gameplay footage, and we'll be back to wrap up with my final thoughts in just a few. Going first is nice. There's no creatures in hand. That's a little awkward. Village Rites should get us going. Once we're there, let me get that song request off. And we may as well just get that out of the way. It's tapped, right? The life gain is helpful later on in the match, but we've got other ways to do that, of course, right? So it's no worries. Let's just get after it. And the question of today's video is, should I be recording these matches in ranked, or should I have the free-to-play decks in the play queue, right? That's the question. I think the free-to-play decks should probably go into the play queue, but it's just so tempting to try and get, a mythic win with a free-to-play deck, right? If it works, you feel like a god. If not, you blame the meta and the rank. This is probably terrible, in all honesty. Not really looking forward to that. Pest Summoning goes out, and we're going to keep the Jungle Hollowed for later. And turn, we try to attack next turn, then Village Rites afterwards. We also have Mortality Spear to nuke anything, but it's going to be a Sultai Ultimatum most likely, and, at the end of the day, I wouldn't expect to win many times against that deck as a free-to-play deck without counter magic. With counter magic, kind of a different scenario, but without, you're a sitting duck, right? It's like, okay, you've got your 7 mana, come get me. It is what it is, though, right? And, the reason I bring all this up is because you probably see those top meta decks less in the play queue. A little bit, anyways, right? So Wolf Willowhaven out ramps them, and then the Vast Wood Surge is also going to ramp them as well, right? Just loving that. So they're actually at 8 available mana here, which is just about the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Land and play, we hit for 2. I mean, even if we spear this, they still have 7, right? So nothing even matters. We hold up the spear as it is instant speed, right? We've not gained life, but, maybe they might wipe something, and that'll reduce the cost of it. And then we can spear and Village Rites, or, we could even Village Rites one of our creatures, and, that's going to activate the death trigger of it, right? They're still ramping, so that signifies to me that they don't have it in hand yet, right? They could still just drop Ugin or, hard cast, very many things. So let's scoop the Scorpion up, deal our damage, and, it's worthless to hit now because they already are ramped past 7. So we may as well save it and try to remove one of their other threats. Mire Triton mills a creature that we can bring back, I hope. We can bring back the Ghoul. And then this was 2 life. This will be our 3rd life here with the Hollow. So that's nice. Ghoul back in play. You can see that, you know, we can do stuff. There's play lines here. But, again, some of these top meta decks are frightening. Oh, they just go straight to coma. Gross. I guess we should have kept the mana up, right? We should have left the Ghoul down, played the Forest. Because they're going to make the Serpent here on our upkeep, which is so very, very bad. There's nothing for them to take. We're going to sacrifice our Ghoul just for the draw. And then maybe that gets us a Heartless Act. Right? Oh, no. Never mind. Not enough mana. What am I thinking? I thought the sacrifice was free for a second. Just made the deck. This is one of my first matches. I'm not quite used to the subtle things. Because, you know, RTFC, right? I do not do this. I just throw them together based on the pictures. You guys know this. It works really well. Everybody's always asking me, how do you build these decks? Pictures, bro. So we could actually do it here because it's not been made yet. And then we just have to pay for the full amount of it. Because luckily for us, our land did untap beforehand. So that's really good for us. But they still get the Serpent, which is annoying. Yeah. Let's get after it. Scorpion go. Land goes out, and we can cram for something to exile Valky. Necrotic Fumes. And we'll attack, I guess? I don't know. We get the Ghoul back as well, which is great. They're down to 2 cards. I think we're doing great. As a free-to-play deck, being able to kill a coma. Wow. Good for you, right? We do have the removal here. It's not instant speed, so they could have got around it. Thankfully, the spear was instant speed. Let's kill Valky. And sacrifice the Scorpion, I guess, right? Because both the 2-1 Death Touch and the 3-1 Thread and the 3-3, they could counter this. That would feel bad. Maybe they even bounce it somehow. Royal it back to their hand. 3 lands in our own hand feels incredibly bad, right? Like, think of how much closer this match could be. Let's hit in for 5. If they block the Ghoul, I think we draw a card. Still hit for 2. Really? Wow. That is hashtag unfortunate. We have 34 life. There's a Cultivate to thin their library. We need some more life gain. It sucks that we only have the 1 Ghoul in play. Like, there's no Deathless Knights or anything. Because if we had a full field applying pressure here every turn, we'd be making out alright. Okay, Binding kills Triton. It's not the worst thing. We get hit down to 31, and they have the Wolf as well. Which they may as well do here. If I were them, I would. It must be done at sorcery speed on their own turn. Wow. Nice. You guys need land? I got extra. I'll share. I don't mind. Hey, we got a couple lands over on my side for you. What a world. Some of the most important turns of the game for us, just like getting pushed out to the side. You want another land, man? I heard you got 10. How's 3 more? Why in the world? And now they've got a Planeswalker out, which just outvalues our free-to-play mentality. Can we get a Mortality Spear off the top? I think that's one of the only ways we make it through this. Right? And like this Eliminate does nothing. Because like that just makes them turn after turn after turn after turn. Oh my god. Hey, at least it wasn't a land though. At least it wasn't another land. Oh, they finally found it. Good game. I'm not going to sit through it. You guys know what it is. And, you know, maybe we'd try to push through if we had some removal. You know, even some creatures, we could try to push through it. But with all that land, it's not happening. All right, we're going first. We are going first, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just start out with the hollow. Nice and slow. Again, no creatures. I'll turn 2 Cram so we can turn 3 Pest Summon at the very least, right? They should have lands that learn. That would be cool. Tapped lands that learn? Maybe they do, and I'm just, you know, being a dunce. I have no idea, though. Already up to 25. Oh, that's not good. Maybe we'll just Heartless Act whatever they bring out instead of their ramp. It's 4 mana. Could even be like a Questing Beast, right? The LIfegain Avenger. When creature dies, you gain 1 life. Sometimes the sacrifice doesn't trigger it. Other times it does. There, it does. So we know Village Rites trigger it. In one instance, it doesn't trigger it though. We get a really nice draw. There's a ton of removal here. Let's just stay back defensively. We remove their first threat. Let's get rid of the second one. Oh, Warden actually can sit there. We don't mind Warden. That's a dead card. It can block, but... Oh. Well, the Manticore is an issue. Let's Mire Triton. Oh, the Ghoul is great. It's too bad we can't gain 1 more life. Can still block. I need to gain that 3rd life this turn. Please block my 1/1. Right? Because they probably didn't see the Silversmote go to the graveyard. So that's good news for us. And then we kill the 1 damage to any target, because that's actually devastating to our deck. Then the Ghoul comes out. The Warden can only attack if they get another 4 power creature in play. 3 cards in hand. Ouch. So they Dragonfire us, and it gets exiled, so we can't replay it. But I doubt they're playing another Warden to allow the first to attack. They might. There's a couple 3 CMC or 3 MV 4 power creatures. You know, Lovestruck Beast is a notable. I guess the Death Touch can swing in. First and foremost. Alright. I see what you're doing. I guess let's end our turn and we'll just sit on it. Which is what we would have done anyways, just with a tapped creature in play. It is what it is. And I'm sure many of you noticed that I switched from Mythic to the play queue. And you can see just how much better the deck performs immediately because you're not against top meta decks. And, you know, if you are playing just for fun, you're probably not in Mythic, right? And that's where we have some of the other decks for you, like, you know, the free-to-play cycling upgrade that we just showcased. That's more of where we'd showcase the free-to-play deck in Mythic, whereas, you know, this deck is just fun times, right? So hopefully we mill, you know, some Deathless Knights, some Silvermote Ghouls. Oh. Nothing really. Let's try to kill the Warden. Of course, you know, if they play a 4/4, we can kill it, and then it can't attack. Another Exile. Okay, cool. So we have no replayability on the Ghouls, so that's fine. And our turn. This does seem like a good block for them. And that's something that maybe they should have done before and then exiled that creature, right? Because that's got organic recursion on it. Last card in hand, we should be fine. We're just looking for life gain at this point. Which we have plenty of it. Cram Sessions is one of our most notable. But you know, the deck is maybe filled with too many land. It's just, you know, it's fine. And I know the moment I would take one out, we would just be bricking. This is okay. Lots of removal, which is, you know, going to prolong the game until we find that life gain and get our field advantage reestablished. Let's eliminate that. Come on. Arena loves us today. Yeah. It comes back to our hand and we can immediately replay it at least. The Deathless Knight, that is. It may have been another land, but at least it was the right land. And now we're on the offensive. Get him, boy. I really like Deathless Knight as a free-to-play card. You can even put it in food shell, right? With the oven and the, obviously, food that will gain you life pretty consistently. And Elder Gargoni. Elder Gargantuan, right? That seems a little bit more fitting. Got him. Got him. Good game. Let's try another match. Alrighty, let's go. Turn one, well, not turn one, turn two Scorpion, unless we top deck a Swamp. No. No. Never. Ever have we ever. I like the LIfegain land with Mortality Spear. That's pretty cool as well. Other than the fact it comes to taps, right? So it's got to be your third land. No Village Rites in hand here. Kind of a bummer. It's like the one time we don't have it. It's like you either get creatures or Village Rites. And, you know, that exiling from our graveyard and potentially hurt later on in the game. Oh, they get a Deathless Knight. So we need to gain life here to get that back in our hand. Or else it gets exiled. Alright, I don't want to lose that knight to their exile. You bet your bottom dollar they'd take it too. This way it's, you know, the Scorpion and something they take. And hopefully, you know, they don't have a lot more graveyard control. We're off to the races. We have plenty of removal to keep our attacking lanes open. We just need more life gain. And more creatures. Hopefully they just try to get in our way. Ooh, Village Rites is hot. And it lands. Oh my gosh, we're in a good spot here. End turn. Eureka moment. Do not care. They're pretty far away from an ultimatum, I believe, as well. I mean, they might get it before we kill them. So it still gets exiled because it's dying this turn. And yeah. Okay, that sucks. Can we gain life on the stack to bring it back? It's all sorcery speed. Oh! Ooh, woof. Ooh, woof. Interesting. Are they gonna fling Experimental Overload at us? Is that today's big joke? We have to wait for this exile graveyard before we can just like throw our Deathless Knight into the grave. I guess we could have went for it because they already get 2 of them. You jerk! I like how Arena puts us against a deck that dominates us. Is there more counter magic? Wowzers. Okay. I'll allow it. Let's pass our whole turn. We're getting wild out on here. I mean, I see a lot of rare lands. The rest of the deck feels fairly budget, though. A ton of rare lands in this deck. It seems to be performing, though. I'm sure they've got some big mythic payoffs here. There's no way we're not getting hit with an ultimatum. We haven't seen Will in a while. It's been a hot minute. Draw 2 cards is good.
I just need to be patient.
We'll do it now while they only have 2 mana. Could be counter magic still, but not a rewind like we've been seeing. I don't think we're going to win this one. I honestly do not see this happening for us. They take another rewind. Wow. You jerk. You jerk. And then they could, not with rewind, but with Sublime Epiphany, I'm thinking of, make copies of the Dowser. Retriggering that ETB over and over. Would be big woofs. They want Will back. These tokens will get to us eventually. The freaking land in this deck is unyielding. Every match. I can't really reconcile it, if I'm being totally honest. And they've got counter magic here, so Mortality Spears, you know, worthless. And they continue to draw.
I have learned so much.
A woof. Maybe we can pull the counter magic? Nope. That 1/1 is not worth it. They're discarding here. They have 8 in hand. Talk about card advantage. Woof. Maybe they try to cast on our end step for some value, Eureka Moment, and then we can snag it? Yeah. Not that it's great. You know, they're just going to draw another. Down to 26 cards in their deck. We're at 34 still. Just goes to show you the amount that they're drawing. Yeah, there you go. There you go. We've not seen Kazel's Fury, though, so I'm not entirely sure if they would fling it at us. Woof, woof, woof. Alright. Oh, good game. We don't get it, right? Village Rites doesn't do much without our creatures, sadly. Woof. Witherbloom definitely is close to being very good. I wouldn't mind trimming some of the removal, just a little bit, right? Maybe 1 copy of Eliminate, maybe 2 copies of Eliminate or Heartless Act, maybe 2 copies of each. That would give us 4 spots. And, you know, some more creatures. The Archfiend's Vessel might not be a bad idea. We don't really want to do recursion, so maybe that's not great. Something with LIfegain. You know, even the there's a leech, right? There's a 2/2 with lifelink. Maybe just another creature with lifelink. I would not mind. If I had to upgrade this deck, you know, it gets really quite easy to check out some of my other Witherbloom decks, and I don't entirely recommend that you upgrade this deck obsessively, but we have the Colorless Blood Mage. You know, this goes really well within the deck. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. You get to create a pest, draw a card, or exile their graveyard. It's just, you know, it's a creature that creates a pest with the life gain for us while allowing us to, you know, control the graveyard, draw a card ourselves. So, you know, I really like the Blood Mage myself. You know, again, this is typically not the deck that I would spend a lot of time upgrading. I do mention the Blood Mage because I think this is a meta card and it will be relevant, you know, within this set and the sets coming out. You know, it's not just one of those dead cards that you don't use. Calls the Dead might be another option for you, but again, you don't want to be exiling your creatures from the grave. So again, maybe not. I just like it the way it is, right? You know, Baleful Mastery, you could, you know, put in some different kinds of removal potentially. You know, you could do many things, but I have a hard time giving you guys, you know, how to make this deck the best possible version ever, because, you know, if you do have the wild cards to spend, you should be spending them on a top meta deck, not a free-to-play deck, right? The free-to-play decks are meant to facilitate an individual's time while keeping it, you know, entertaining, you know, interactive, fun, all of these things, to avoid the burnout while they're farming, you know, gold to do the drafts to complete their collection, right? They're not necessarily meant to push to the top of the meta, even though you can try as far as you can. I'm sure they all get to platinum, right? Just based on you learning the meta and the playlines. But again, I've got a hard time recommending rares for you guys to buy that aren't, you know, useful in other decks. And, you know, we are getting closer to rotation now as well, so that makes my recommendations even harder to make, because yes, Rankle 3/3 with haste flying goes in the deck great. It can trigger the sacrifices for us, and we can replay the creatures that we're sacrificing ourselves. There's lots of cool things that we could do, but I just can't recommend it to someone who doesn't have all of the cards already, right? So, you know, if you do, and you can make upgrades to the deck, you know, do that with, you know, a little bit of forethought on how it will affect it, and, you know, try to keep the base alive itself. But I don't know what individual cards you have, and there are countless potential upgrades that you could make, and I think that you guys as individuals should take the initiative and kind of upgrade the decks according to your own personal collection, right? Because not everybody's going to have a copy of Rankle to slide in, but then some people do, right? So for me to recommend it seems weird, because then half of those other people are going to want to spend their wild cards on it, and, you know, just, I feel awkward doing it, right? So if this is the free-to-play deck, don't worry about it. There's going to be more to come, and if you're interested in any others, we got them in the playlist. Check out the Linktree link for all of our goodies. Let me know what you thought of the deck in the comments below. And most importantly, go have yourselves a magical day, and we'll see you soon in the next.